Okay, so we have a data science platform called Datacise, and one of the tools on there is the Integrated Safety Explorer. And what you can see here, we have a number of structured data sources, traditional data sources like the FAIRS data and Canada, IMI Predict, and so forth. And so, so this is our root dashboard. And so when you get into the Integrated Safety Explorer, you can click on any of these. Now, these are the traditional data sets, and we were using social media to see if we could find some signals. So we have Twitter, Reddit, and a signal detection dashboard here. Let's go to the next slide. Patty, you've introduced us already. Eric, Aditya, and I provided the technical support. Margaryta was the one that that consulted with us to provide the medical the medical information that we needed in order to produce these quality dashboards here. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Margaryta, and she'll get started talking about the usefulness of our solution here.
Thank you, Chris. In 2006, Hazel and Shakir analyzed 37 studies from 12 countries and conducted that from 80 to 95% of adverse drug reactions were not reported to spontaneous recording systems. Further literature review shows that nothing or not much has changed since then, and regardless of decade-long try to address underreporting to traditional systems. On the other hand, we see that there is exponential growth in social media posts describing adverse drug reactions. Innovative approaches to pharmacovigilance are going to reshape pharmacovigilance field, allowing us to identify safety trends and analyze safety signals within the minutes. Next slide, please. Modern safety surveillance tools, in our opinion, should have following functionalities: ability to capture and quickly analyze more data surrounding each event, ability to aggregate and interpret data from disparate data sources, traditional and real-world data, ability to identify rare adverse drug reactions and monitor known safety signals at the same time. And also, we believe that alternate statistical methods are needed to identify and analyze new signals from social media and unstructured data in near real time. And Eric will explain you how we addressed the above-mentioned tasks at MMS.
Thank you, Margaryta. So our technology to support these types of analysis is called Datacise, as Chris mentioned earlier. This particular module is called the Integrated Safety Explorer, and it was created as a highly flexible and scalable secure platform where we can analyze a wide variety of data, and it includes the state-of-the-art data science tools, several different programming languages and platforms within that. So we also have other modules under development, including a Datacise Clinical Data Explorer. The goal of all of this really is to integrate traditional data sources alongside others, including social media and genomics. And the ultimate goal here today is to find and investigate potential safety signals in real time. Next slide.
Below a few slides will show regulatory guidances which we kept in mind while developing our Datacise platform. First of all, we kept in mind a guideline on good pharmacovigilance practice, Module 9, which describing safety signal management process in 5 following steps: identification of safety data sources, signal detection, signal evaluation and validation, signal prioritization, and action plan. Initially, first 2 steps were the focus of our interest within this challenge. However, at later stage, we realized that we could build features that are very helpful for signal evaluation step as well, and we will stop on it a bit later. Next slide, please. Next slide will describe main signal detection methods which are used at the moment. Due to time constraints for FHUSE challenge preparation, our MMS team focused on statistical methods of disproportionality reporting, statistical methods of increased frequency review, as well as on methods focused on identification of specific group of adverse events that would allow to prioritize safety review irrespective of statistical criteria used by the below two methods. And for that, we used a designated medical event list, fatal events, important medical event list. Next slide, please. For our test medication, we used Humira as a great candidate for automated adverse drug reaction and aggregate analysis systems due to the large number of posts in social media, first of all. That is why we selected it as a test medication for our case study. Humira is tumor necrosis factor inhibitor, so we decided to use the entire group of TNF inhibitors as background medications. This allowed us to test disproportionality reporting algorithms for social media data. Next slide, please. Social media data, first of all, can be used as primary tool for finding rare, unlabeled or unlisted adverse events, how they called in different sources, which were not reported through a spontaneous system earlier. We used summary of product characteristics section 4.8 as baseline documentation for identification, first of all, or listed or unlisted, labeled, unlabeled adverse events, as well as for increased frequency review analysis. We used summary of product characteristics as background. We used modified rule of three, developed by Kitch and co-authors, and for our challenge, we removed denominator N for FHUSE challenge as we had limited number of Twitter posts downloaded from October 2019 till February 2020. Next slide, please. Saying that, we noticed that actually current way or current regulatory standards for preparation of post-marketing product information, such as summary of product characteristics in European Union or US product information, have limitation for multidisciplinary team for real-world data analysis. First of all, post-marketing reference safety information allow use of medical concepts or unspecific terms which is not acceptable for multidisciplinary team. They do not provide MedDRA preferred terms and frequency observed for every preferred terms. They put them together in above-mentioned medical concepts. Information is spread among different sections in text, and it is very user-unfriendly for multidisciplinary team to use it. So we are hoping that some regulatory practices will be reviewed as well to help analytical team in real-world data analysis later. And now I'm passing the ball to Aditya so he could share relevant technical details with you, what I simply call the magic of data science.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mare. So here you can see here you can see a screenshot of one of the pages of our Twitter dashboard. Like you can see here, we've collected social media data between November and our data cutoff date in early February. Evaluated 22,000 posts, of which 1.2% were identified as adverse events, and 13.6% of the users were identified as patients. We didn't in a way, I mean, we didn't try to reinvent the wheel. We used available, proven tools and integrated them into our platform and process. For example, using Cloud Vision and Translation API, we were able to translate 77 languages and determine gender by using profile pictures. Like you can see here, about 38% were female, 16% were male, and the rest of the 48% are unknown, people who don't like putting up their pictures, or they have their dog's pictures, etc. Another example here is we used Meaning Cloud's deep categorization, text classification, and topic extraction APIs, along with a custom dictionary we developed from Mare to identify AEs and patients. Our solution kind of also includes another custom dictionary for product summary reports extracted from multiple drug labels to provide a baseline for signal detection. To kind of summarize this whole thing, we identified AEs, patient posts, standardized the posts using Mare, DMEs, and performed signal detection. Thank you. Back to Dr. Mare.
Thank you, Aditya. Next few slides will show our Twitter dashboards, and first one is a signal detection dashboard on Twitter. This dashboard focused on finding rare or unlisted or unlabeled adverse events, as we described them earlier, and it will be and it is running automatically and will be ready for pharmacovigilance team. Provides the data for further review, so it automatically will identify unlisted adverse events for information entered into the database. Second, Twitter signal detection dashboard, next slide please, focused on increased frequency review. The same as previous slide, it will identify frequency of already known events, will calculate it in social media, and will compare it to the frequency which we have in product summary information. So it will also show us signal strength if frequency is increased, and such automated tool will allow also PV team professionals then to prioritize the review of safety signals as needed. Next slide will show a dashboard which was developed for designated medical events review, or it could be done also for important medical events review. Designated medical events list contains medical conditions that are serious and often medicine related. This tool was developed by IMI as a safety net, so it would allow medical professional to prioritize safety review of such events regardless of statistical data we're receiving from signal detection tools. Next slide, please. And the set of below slides in a case study will show a case study which provides you an overview how actually our Datacise platform can allow us to find rare events not often reported through spontaneous reporting system, and how it will allow us to strengthen a hypothesis of emerging safety signals or refute them using the data from traditional and non-traditional databases. This slide is a Twitter dashboard slide system organ class by preferred terms by drug. We selected on right drop-down menu corner. And then what we will see, it is two graphs, top graph and below graph. Top graph will be related to information for all TNF inhibitors group which was selected by us as background medication, and below graph is related only to Humira data. So we will see bigger blocks in darker colors. Usually it is a group of system organ class events and PT terms included in them, which are already labeled well-known and so-called common adverse events. In finding rare adverse events, we would be focusing on the bottom right corner, for example, for Humira, our test graph, because this is the group where it will be unlisted or unreported yet adverse event. And what we see POMA on Humira visualization graph. POMA is one of the events also from included in important medical event list. meaning that we would like to prioritize review of this event. And when we are hovering over this event, we see that coma belongs to system organ class nervous systems disorders. Next slide, please. So looking at Twitter signal detection dashboard, we filter on the left drop-down menu events to nervous system disorders. Next slide. And here we will see on top graph all nervous system disorders, all events which belongs to nervous system disorders class, and all medications which are having those PTs in the regards. Also, we see that only one event, coma, belongs to Humira out of all other TNF inhibitors which have nervous system disorders PTs reported for them. And coma actually is the only blue dot on the top which is unlisted, so not labeled adverse event as per summary of product characteristics. Next slide, please. This slide actually is showing exactly the same information as I described above, but it shows that we could find this information from different dashboards by sorting nervous system class disorders, listed and unlisted adverse events, and receive different graphs and different visualization from different Twitter dashboards. We still could identify the signal this or another way. Next slide. So, as coma was only the one event report unlisted for Humira, we would like to see what kind of Twitter post says about it. And when we go back to Twitter dashboard demographic, we find the post related to this event, and we see that the actual tweet seems to be from healthcare professional dealing with multiple coma cases for Humira. And this makes us wonder, do we have actually similar type of signals in other traditional systems? And then we will go to FHIR's system dashboards. And now we should broaden search, as you can see on the left corner. First of all, active ingredients. We selected all drugs which has adalimumab active ingredients. Then we selected preferred term coma, and this selection shows us that only two drugs, and both Humira and Humira AC, actually had coma in that regard. And right graph says that actually we have 201 comas reported for Humira in FHIR's database from Q1 2017 to Q3 2019, because it is only that amount of data that was downloaded by us for this FHUSE challenge. On next dashboard, we see statistical disproportionality reporting analysis dashboard from FHIR's, and also measures of disproportionality, as you can see from digits, would not fire a signal for us just because of amount of background medications which we have in safety in FHIR's database. We would still like to review these coma cases because it is important medical events, and we cannot simply rely only on statistical methods analysis. So right graph shows us that actually these spikes, we have rather seasonal spikes of coma for Humira, and peaks of those events related to the end of 2017 or end of 2018. And next dashboard will be the last dashboard from our FHIR system. It will show us relative counts and for Humira, and we do not have additional information provided on these dashboards. So after reviewing FHIR's database, we would like to also prove hypotheses from different databases, and we can go now to IMI Dashboard. We do the same as we did with FHIR's dashboards. We select adalimumab, active ingredients, and we see the selection Amjevita, Humira, and Salimbic there. But regardless of that, we cannot find any case of coma in IMI Dashboard. The same, we would, next slide, try to prove concept from other databases. For example, from Genomic Database, we selected the entire, filtered the entire TNF inhibitors, and Genomic Database doesn't have any information on TNF inhibitors. So in these simple steps, we showed you how actually signal detection can be performed on different traditional and non-traditional data, safety data, as well as how our Datacise platform allows us to prove hypotheses arising from different sources. And I'm giving a role to Eric.
All right. Thank you, Margaryta. So we hope we've given you the sense that combining disparate sources of data in a centralized place really is of great assistance to pharmacovigilance and other safety professionals. We're currently enhancing our capabilities around automatic signal detection. And as a reminder to everyone, all of these data shown are publicly available. However, we also have the capability to anonymize data for sharing if needed. One of the things we realized during this challenge was that we need additional granularity around things such as labeling details in order to facilitate machine learning and future automation. And we have posted the URL to this Integrated Safety Explorer on the PHUSE app, so please check that if you're curious. We really hope you've enjoyed this presentation and welcome your questions. Thank you.